Complicated cataract and IOL. Now first we will deal with the metabolic cataracts and then we will do with the complicated cataract. In the metabolic cataract we have diabetic cataracts. The diabetic cataracts are associated with two types of cataracts. First is senile cataract, which is seen in aged people, and they in diabetic cases they appear early and they progress rapidly. The second form is the true diabetic cataract, which are seen as a snowflake or snowstorm cataract. It's a rare condition which is seen in young adult due to osmotic overhydration of the lenses due to accumulation of sorbitol. Here in this picture you can see multiple opacities which are actually snowflake cataract or snowstorm cataract. So it starts with multiple fluid vacuoles which gets opacified to form snowflake-like opacities in the cortex. Such opacities may resolve spontaneously or it may mature within a few days. The second type of metabolic cataract is a galactosemic cataract. So it happens due to the deficiency of the enzyme. You should know the name of the enzyme. One important viva question is the type of cataract seen. So the type of cataract seen in galactosemic cataract is the oil droplet cataract. Here in the picture you can see the oil droplet cataract. The third type is the error of copper metabolism, very commonly called as Wilson's disease. So again, examiner they are fascinated with the word with the terms like sunflower cataract and Kayser-Fleischer ring. Now in the picture you can see this is the sunflower cataract, and KF ring is actually seen in the copper deposition in the decimate membrane of the cornea. So here in the picture you see sunflower cataract. Now coming to the complicated cataract. Complicated cataract can be given as a short note in the exam. So you should know the definition of the complicated cataract, the etiology, clinical features are very important. Like clinical features, they are fascinated with the term like breadcrumb appearance and the polychromatic luster. And there are few types. You can be asked question about those types. So if you know complicated cataract in general, you'll be able to answer it. So what is complicated cataract? It means opacification of the lens secondary to ocular, local or systemic disease. Uh, Complicated cataract, any condition in which ocular circulation is disturbed or inflammatory toxins are formed, resulting in the disturbance of nutrition of the lens, will result in the complicated cataract formation. In the etiology, there is an inflammatory condition like uveitis, hypopyon corneal ulcer. They can result in complicated cataract. Then there are certain degenerative conditions which are associated with complicated cataract like retinitis pigmentosa and other retinal dystrophies. Then there is a retinal detachment. There can be glaucoma and there can be intraocular tumors. So these are the conditions which are sometimes associated with a cataract which are called complicated cataract because it is happening secondary to these pathologies. Clinical features. It starts with the posterior subcapsular cataract. It has got a breadcrumb appearance. Polychromatic luster. So there's appearance of colored particles of red, green and blue in a very red, green and blue, and this is called a rainbow cataract. Uh, there will be a diffuse yellow haze in the adjoining cortex. Towards late in the later stage, the whole lens gets opacified, it becomes dirty white in color, and in later stage there can be deposition of calcium. Now types. The complicated cataract can be caused by drug like corticosteroids, certain miotics like ecothiopate, and certain other medicines like amiodarone, etc. It can be because of the radiational injury to the lens like infrared rays. So the cataract is called as a glass blower's cataract or glass worker's cataract. It can be caused by ir some irradiation rays like X-ray, gamma rays, etc. And it can also be caused by UV radiation. Then there is electric cataract, and then there is a syndermatotic cataract. Now coming to the intraocular lenses. What are intraocular lenses? They are artificial lenses implanted in the eyes. They replace the normal crystalline lens. They are used to correct the optical power of the eyes following lens being clouded by cataract, or in certain cases like in high myopia, we also use the lens as a part of a refractive surgery. Primary versus secondary implantation. Primary implantation. It is placement of IOL during the time of cataract surgery. Here, no prior surgery was done in the eye. Secondary implantation. It is implantation of the IOL in an eye which already had undergone surgery. So this here secondary implantation is done to correct aphakia in a previously operated eye. Parts of IOL. So there are two parts of IOL as shown in the picture. You can see there's optic and the haptic. Optic is the part of the lens that focuses light on the retina. Haptic, they are small filaments connected to the optic that hold the lens in place in the eye. So here this picture is showing the detail of the IOL. You can see the length of the IOL is averagely 13.5 millimeter, and the length of the or the diameter of the optic is 6.3 millimeter, and the average angulation of the haptic is 10 degree. So here materials used for intraocular lenses. So we should also know the type the lenses are made up of which material. So the optic materials. So in optic materials, it can be made up of non-foldable rigid IOL, which is polymethyl methacrylate, which is a very commonly used lens. Then second is a foldable IOL, which is used in cases of small incision surgery like a phaco. So the type of IOL used here is silicone, hydrophobic acrylic, hydrophilic acrylic. The third variety is a rollable or ultra thin IOL. These are used to be inserted through a very small incision. So they are usually made up of hydrogel lenses. And the haptic material are usually made up of polypropylene, polymethyl methacrylate, or acrylic. Now, based on the method of fixation in the eye, we have anterior chamber IOL, in which the IOL is placed in the anterior chamber. We have iris supported lenses, in which the iris is fixed to the iris. And the third variety is the posterior chamber lenses, in which the lenses are resting behind the iris. So coming to the posterior chamber implantation. Again, this posterior chamber implantation has got three types. One is ciliary sulcus fixation, second is in the back fixation, and third is scleral fixation. This picture showing here is a ciliary sulcus fixation lens. You can see here there's in the picture there's a rim of anterior capsule. There's also posterior capsule, and the lens is lying on the rim of the anterior capsule. So this is an example of ciliary sulcus fixation, in which the lens is lying between iris and the anterior rim of the lens capsule. Now this picture showing here is the lens placed in the bag. In the bag fixation is the position of the lens. So here you can see the bag. There's anterior rim of capsule, and the posterior capsule is very clearly visible in the cross section, and the lens is contained within the bag. So the lens is placed between the anterior rim of the capsule and the posterior capsule. So this is a picture showing in the bag fixation of the IOL. This picture showing here is a scleral fixated IOL. This kind of lens is placed when there is no support of capsule, and the lens cannot be placed in the sulcus because there's no rim of the capsule left. This happens usually when when there's too much of tear in the posterior capsule, or when there's a complete dislocation of the lens. We do scleral fixation of the IOL. So till now there are three types of placement of IOL in the posterior chamber. One was ciliary fixated IOL, second was lens in the back, and third is the scleral fixated IOL. Second type of lens placement is in the anterior chamber. Here, the angles are used to support the IOL. In the picture shown here is a Kelman multiflex type of IOL which is resting on the iris, and the haptics are in the angle. So these are not used anymore because there are high incidence of bullous keratopathy in cases of AC IOL. These are the third variety of lenses. These are iris fixated lenses. They're fixed on the iris with claws or loops or sutures. There are two types of iris fixated lenses. One is Sync iris fixated lens, and second is the Wurst's iris claw lens. So in the picture you can see here, they are piercing the iris and resting on the iris. So these are iris fixated lenses. Now, based on the focusing ability of the intraocular lenses, they are mainly of three types. One is unifocal intraocular lens, second is multifocal intraocular lens, and third one is accommodative intraocular lenses. Now, coming to the unifocal intraocular lenses, lens with unifocal power, and they can have problem, but they have a unifocal power, and when it is placed in the eye, a near vision spectacle will be required. These are multifocal lenses, multifocal IOL. They are used to achieve near and distance vision by having two or three or multifocal points simultaneously. The function of multifocal IOL depends on the pupil size for refractive types. The concept is based on the principle that the pupil tends to constrict for near tasks, so the central portion of the lens is designed for near and outer portion for distance. So the optics based on either refractive or diffractive optics, and they are also called as pseudo accommodation lenses. Third variety is accommodative IOL. In an accommodating IOL, the haptics are designed to keep the IOL securely in place and prevent any rotational movement, but the legs are flexible in a way that allows the optical portion of the IOL to move slightly forward upon contraction of the ciliary muscle. So here the IOL depends to some extent on the ciliary muscle, and as they contract and relax, they move accordingly, a little bit forward or a little bit backward. So a little bit of accommodation is maintained. So they are called as accommodative IOL. Now coming to the special function IOL. There are toric IOLs which correct any associated astigmatism, mainly corneal astigmatism. Then there are aspherical IOL which reduces the spherical aberration. Aniridia IOL. It covers the defect of aniridia or partial iris loss as in trauma. It has a black diaphragm over the optic. So here in the picture you can see in the lens there is a ring of black coloration which serves the purpose of iris, and it acts as an aniridia IOL. Now coming to the piggyback IOL. It is an IOL piggybacking onto an existing IOL or simultaneous implantation of two IOL. So here in this case, it can be a primary implantation of IOL with secondary IOL implantation in the back. So both the lenses are in the back, or it can be one IOL is in the back and the second IOL could be put in the sulcus. So these kind of lenses are called piggyback IOL lenses. Blue light filtering IOL. Lenses are yellow colored to screen out UV light and blue spectrum. Reduce risk of ARMD or age-related macular degeneration because these IOL filter out the UV light or the blue spectrum of the light. The second type is the photochromatic IOL. There are also UV absorbing photochromes containing IOL. Phakic intraocular lens is a special kind of intraocular lens that is implanted surgically into the eye to correct myopia. It is called phakic because the eye's natural lens is left untouched. So these are IOL used to correct myopia with the eye's natural lens being untouched. The second one is implantable contact lenses. The procedure involves implantation of micro thin lenses inside the eye to correct short-sightedness, myopia, farsightedness, hypermetropia, and astigmatism. The procedure, which can be reversed, is able to treat a high range of correction beyond that possible with laser eye surgery. It is an excellent alternative to laser eye surgery and where LASIK is contraindicated. For instance, those with thin or abnormal corneas, keratoconus, and dry eye. So implantable contact lenses are also of three types: angle supported lenses, iris fixated lenses, and sulcus supported lenses. Complications of IOL implantation. There can be mechanical damage to the IOL, dislocation of the IOL. It can cause bullous keratopathy, especially the anterior chamber intraocular lenses or the iris fixated IOL. It can result in the posterior capsule rupture. It can cause anterior capsular opacification, posterior capsule opacification. There can be calcium deposits within the optic of the hydrophilic intraocular lenses, adherence, UGH syndrome, and sunset syndrome. Thank you.